Welcome to Missiongathering Charlotte. This community is for you if you grew up in the church and have lost your faith. If you're in a moment of deconstruction or reconstruction. If scandals, politics, and hate have led you into doubt. If the stories of this faith raises doubts and curiosities in you. Our time here, it's not about trying to fix you, because you are not broken. Our journey in this life is not about erasing our doubts, but embracing them. For it is only in the darkest of nights that we can truly see the stars. So now, as we celebrate the nights growing shorter and the days growing warmer, we don't think you should have to make this journey alone. So if you're Asian, Latinx, Black, white, or Indigenous, if you're male, female, trans, or non-binary, if you're 3 days old, 30 years old, or 103 years old, if you've never stepped foot in a church, or if you're a Buddhist, Roman Catholic, agnostic, or you are a lifelong evangelical, if you are single, married, divorced, separated, or partnered, if you are straight, gay, lesbian, asexual, or bisexual, if you're a Republican, a Democrat, an independent, a socialist, or not registered to vote, if you've had or had addictions, phobias, abortions, or a criminal record, if you own your home, rent, live with your parents, or are homeless, if you're fully able, disabled, or a person of differing abilities, you are welcome to join us on this journey, to share our sacred meal at the table of grace. Happy Sunday and welcome one and all.
No conditions, you are loved. We cannot say it enough. You completely belong. No, we cannot say it enough. You are safe to be who you are. No, we cannot say it enough. So come to the table, there is a place for you. Come to the table, come to the table, just as you are. No exceptions, welcome home. We cannot say it enough. You're not on this road alone. No, we cannot say it enough. Nothing to prove, you can let down your guard. We cannot say it enough. So come to the table, there is a place for you. Come to the table, come to the table, just as you are. Come to the table, there is a place for you. Come to the table, there is a place for you. Come to the table, just as you are. Just as you are. Just as you are. There's no fear, no fear in love. There's no fear, no fear in love. You are safe to be who you are. Nothing to prove, you can let down your guard. And come to the table, there is a place for you. Come to the table, come to the table, just as you are. Come to the table, there is a place for you. Come to the table, there is a place for you. Come to the table, just as you are, just as you are, just as you are, just as you are, just as you are.
We come into this moment with the noise of our lives, the noise of words spoken by us, over us, and to us. If those words have been uttered without love, allow them to come into your mind. And as they appear, imagine them floating away from you with each breath, in and out, one by one, slipping away. See them moving down a stream far beyond your reach. Allow now your accomplishments to come to your consciousness. See them before you, like sand slipping through your fingers. They too wash down the stream. With each breath, in and out, allow one after another to slip through your fingertips. Continuing your breath in and out. Your deepest you is God. And God is love. I'm going to say some words and you can repeat them either out loud or in your mind. Repeat after me. I am learning to be patient. I am learning to be kind. I am letting go of jealousy. I have no need to brag. I have let go of the need to be right. I am learning to release myself from rudeness. I am seeking solidarity over my own advantage. I am learning to rest so that I may resist irritability. I am erasing my record of complaints. I am unhappy with injustice, but I delight in the truth. I am learning that I am resilient enough to endure all things. I am learning to trust that all things are working toward love. I am placing my hope for all things into love. I am beginning to understand the endurance of love in me. I know that I cannot fail in love. I am growing in my maturity and understanding of love. I know that I still cannot see all things clearly, but that I am clearly seen by the source of all love. I know that all things will fade from the world, but faith, hope, and love will remain. And in myself, I am finding the greatest of these is love. If I speak in tongues of human beings and of angels, but I don't have love, I am a clanging gong or a clashing cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and I know all the mysteries and everything else, and if I have such complete faith I can move mountains, but I don't have love, I am nothing. If I give away everything that I have and hand my body over to feel good about what I have done, but I don't have love, I receive no benefit whatsoever. Love is patient. Love is kind. It isn't jealous. It doesn't brag. It isn't arrogant. It isn't rude. It doesn't seek its own advantage. It isn't irritable, and it doesn't keep a record of complaints. It isn't happy with injustice, but is happy with the truth. Love puts up with all things, trusts in all things, hopes for all things, endures all things. Love never fails. As for prophecies, they will be brought to an end. As for tongues, they will stop. As for knowledge, it will be brought to an end. But we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when the perfect comes, what is partial will be brought to an end. When I was a child, I used to speak like a child, reason like a child, think like a child. But now I have become an adult. I have put an end to childish things. Now we see a reflection in a mirror. Then we will see face to face. Now I know partially, but then I will know completely in the same way I have been known completely. Now faith, hope, and love remain. These three things, and the greatest of these is love. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, the Common English Bible translation. So last week I said we were going to find a better way forward in Paul's first letter to the Corinthian church. And chapter 13 is that better way forward. And you've probably heard this chapter before. You may have heard it at a wedding. You may have heard it in church before. But this is one of those commonly known passages of the Bible. But even though this passage is read at weddings, it's not really about marriage. As Richard Rohr puts it, this is the most supreme piece of condensed theology in the entire Bible. You know, if this passage had been the only thing that Paul had ever written, I think some of us would be happy because there's some more problematic texts that come from Paul. But still, like, this passage would have been something we would have been talking about even today. You see, the Apostle Paul was writing to the church in Corinth, and the church in Corinth had no cultural connection to this new religion that he had brought them into. But Paul was a pro at the religion that this new faith, which would become Christianity, had come out of. And the people in Corinth, they were like so many of us on our journeys in this faith. They wanted to say the right things, they wanted to do the right things, and they wanted to set it up in the best possible way. Yeah, and some of it had to do with their egos, but it wasn't just about their egos, right? Because beyond ego and beyond like wanting to feel important, they felt a lot like most of us do. They had found something and they wanted to share it with other people. So they wanted it to be ordered, and they were bringing in their societal constructs and hierarchies into that order because they wanted the society around them to take them seriously. find what they had found and to know what they knew. Paul is a good church planner, and then the busyness of them trying to set all these things up and to seem more respectable to all of the other mystery religions and cults and faiths that were going on in Corinth. Paul sees in that busyness that they had lost their true path to the better way, to the best way. The way of following Jesus has always been rooted in love. And without love, Paul is trying to tell them that they have nothing, that none of us have anything without love. Because Paul probably knew, and as we know from the writings of the Apostle John, that God is love. And if God is the foundation of all existence, then love is the source of that existence. The one thing that will never fade from the multitudes of existence, or if you're a Spider-Man fan, from the multiverse, is love. Amen. This isn't the romantic love or the infatuation that we're so used to, right? When our society talks about love. I know Valentine's Day is coming up, and it's a great holiday, and you should celebrate it. And I'm happy for you if you have romantic love in your life. I do. But this love that Paul's talking about isn't that love. It's the source of love, the agape love of God. Paul breaks down what that love is like, and that's why we read it at weddings so often, is because we're grasping, we're trying to figure out what love is like. But Paul's breakdown, if you'll allow me to interpret it, goes like this. Love, it never gives up. It cares more for the needs of others than its own comforts. It doesn't chase after what it doesn't have, but is happy with what it does have. It doesn't need to make others feel small in order to feel secure. It doesn't assume it has all the answers. It isn't self-serving and manipulating, and it isn't quickly offended, but seeks understanding with those it has conflict with. It doesn't hold a grudge with those who have wronged it. Love is never happy with injustice, but delights when truth leads to equity. Love learns to compassionately cope with everything that comes its way. Love trusts that its actions will eventually lead things to working out for the ultimate end of love. Love hopes for all things. Love can and does endure all things. Love never, ever fails. This is a kind of love we don't see often. It's not what we see from our leaders. It's not what we see from most of our churches. But without this kind of love, anything we do, great or small, is meaningless. It is a noisy distraction or a distortion of what it could be. You see, all the things that you do, all of your accomplishments, even your legacy, your memory, all of that will disappear at some point. It will be gone and forgotten. But what will remain, what can always remain, is love. The energy that you put into a love like Paul describes doesn't fade or go away. It only expands and grows exponentially. You know, the faith that so many of us came from had a childish way of looking at who's in and who's out, who's a part of the group and who's not. But it was immature. It forgot about what our responsibility was to our creature kindred on this planet, or our duty to those not just who came before us in keeping up traditions, but our duty to those who are yet to be born, and to leave them something left to them in love that will continue to carry them through. I think that's the word for us this 2022, is to put away those childish things, even in our progressive views. We don't need to argue about who's right and wrong. But to move forward, we need to begin to practice this kind of love with each other. And this kind of love, it's only able to be practiced in community. This is a steep task for any couple if you've been married or coupled with anybody for a large amount of time. This is the kind of love that is best practiced in the maturity that community can cultivate. And even as we move forward, even as we move into this love and we grasp for that mature way of seeing the world and those around us, that true self, that inner self sense, of love. We know that we only see things partially. I think that's one of the greatest things that's laid out in this, is that we don't have to know it all or have it all figured out. What we do need is to love. We see just a part of this picture. In our finitude, we cannot grasp all of the infinite. But even in our unknowing, we are fully known by the incarnate love that we grasp for. Think about that. Even in your unknowing and ununderstanding and your inability to grasp it all or be able to contain all of it within your physical human brain, you are completely and utterly known by the incarnate love that is God. It just blows my mind to be known in such a way. Even when we feel unseen by others, God sees us. Our hopes for the future, the goals of our justice and activist causes are good and great things, and we should never give them up. The working and the wrestling of what it means to be a faithful people and seeking to understand that faith that we call Christianity is a worthwhile endeavor. All of those things, and all of those things that we do and try to do, love is our greatest task. Our only measure of success is, did we love? Our love connects and resides in the eternal, and it is a part of us that will echo through eternity. You see, love is not just our duty. We cannot make love just another thing on the list. Love is not our duty, but love is our destiny. When Jesus came, love incarnate, God made flesh among us. The destiny was set towards love. Yes, we have to work at it. Yes, we have to keep pushing forward. Yes, we have to do all of those things, but Mission Gathering and friends, let us do them in love, so that we may be a community that seeks to live out this love in our personal lives, in our lives together here at Mission Gathering, in our lives at work. Wherever we go, may we be known as a people of radical, loving welcome and practice. May love reign supreme in our hearts, our minds, and our souls until that time when all that was born of the eternal love may return to it and see fully what has already been fully seen within it. Mission Gathering. My dear friends, may love be born in you this day. May it continue to grow and mature and create more love in this world. Because after 2 years of awfulness, all we need is love. May it be so. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for our broadcast. Whenever you're watching this, I just want to say thanks, and I hope that it will bring some love about in your life. We meet here at Mission Gathering Charlotte at 420 East 15th Street every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. You're so welcome to be here with us in person, but if you need to stay at home and watch online, that's good too. Maybe you're watching from somewhere where you can't just drive over here in the morning, and we're glad to have you as well. If Mission Gathering means something to you, if it's a community that you want to support, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, or go ahead and maybe donate to the Cash App, the Venmo, or on our church website at mgclt.com/give. That helps us keep all this going, helps us pay for new equipment to keep things moving, and 2022 has some really cool stuff in store. So I hope that you'll keep in touch and let us know that you're watching. Have an amazing, amazing day and be blessed. Thanks.